Hello, my friends. Welcome once again to the Call Office. I trust you're doing well and are having a really good day. A couple of years ago, I read a couple of biographies back to back, read them back to back on purpose. The first biography was of John Wesley. The second biography was of George Whitefield. They were friends of one another. They did ministry side by side for years. They both loved the Lord, loved the church, loved one another, and were great historic figures in the church, both great evangelists. The interesting thing about those two men is John Wesley, clearly Arminian, and George Whitefield, clearly a Calvinist, but they didn't allow their particular theological nuance to separate them in any way, and really did ministry in parallel for quite some time. And I thought there was a lot to learn from them, and I sure wish their spirit and character was found accessible today in light of church ministry that we see going on even now. But I enjoyed learning from both of those men. Today in my reading, I ran across an illustration that came out of John Wesley's life. And I was reminded of it, and I thought it was great, and I thought I'd pass the encouragement on to you. John Wesley was asked by a stranger one day if he knew with certainty that Jesus Christ was coming at noon the next day, how that would change his life. And in response to that question, John Wesley reached down into his bag and pulled out his journal and read to the man his agenda that he had scheduled out for that evening and the next morning. And basically, John Wesley was saying, my agenda would be unchanged. If I knew Jesus Christ was coming back tomorrow at noon, my agenda wouldn't be altered. Now, that's quite remarkable. There's quite freedom living with that type of integrity. John Wesley lived in the knowledge, in the light of the soon return of Jesus Christ and the inbreaking of God's kingdom and the return of Jesus. And he lived with such integrity of that his life would just be unaltered by that event. Now, that's quite remarkable. Maybe we're not as scheduled as John Wesley might be. Maybe we don't have an agenda detailed out with such clarity that we would say, oh, I wouldn't change a thing at all. But I think there's something to learn from John Wesley. But also, Jesus himself, when he was asked about his return, the disciples asked Jesus when he would be returning, what would be the signs of his return, and Jesus gave him an answer. But in the answer, he made it clear that the return of Jesus Christ might be sooner than we anticipate. It might be further down the road than we want it to be. But the reality is, we just need to be living in the light of his return. Living in God's presence, doing our work daily as unto the Lord, loving our neighbor as ourself, and doing the good that God would have us to do right in the time and space in which he's given us. And so we can learn from the words of Jesus Christ, certainly the instruction that he gives us in the Gospels, but also from examples of John Wesley. I was encouraged by that today, just like, man, Christ is coming back, and I need to be living today in light of that reality, in light of that knowledge. And I was encouraged with the reminder, and I thought I would pass that encouragement on to you. Again, I trust you're doing well. Looking forward to seeing you soon. God bless you. Have a great day.